Welcome to the StreamSix Academy Podcast, where we talk about the day-to-day reality of being a streamer and content creator in the modern world. Whether you are just starting your content, your podcast, your stream, or you're a veteran of the scene looking to grow your community, we have our own experiences to share with you about what that's like. For those who don't know, StreamSix is an indie development platform that is looking to deepen the connection of communities through sixes or social interactive experiences. My name is Sam Hall, also known as Bax. With me is Tim Seneker, also known as Camera Tim.
Hey, it's good to be here.
I'm glad you're here too. Yeah, it's going to be great. And we're going to be bringing on a guest later as well. For now, we're going to, this is really about the experience of a job that didn't used to exist. This is something where we make a living doing something that people before would have never even contemplated. Sometimes talking to people, it's hard to get them to comprehend that this is something we make a living doing.
Yeah, it's truly an innovative space to be in, because this is something, like you said, we're building this from the ground up in a sense. This is something that people don't have a lot of experience doing yet. So there's a lot of people who have achieved success in this area, and they're giving advice based on their limited knowledge that they have. But at the same time, there's a lot more unknown that we haven't truly experienced yet. Like there's a lot of things involving AI that's becoming more and more prevalent.
Geez, yeah.
There's a lot of things with equipment being more accessible and people coming up with new ways to do content. There's new platforms like coming up and going down. Like it's all up in the air. So who's to say, at least right now, that there's a definitive way, like this is how you do content, this is how you do anything involving content creation in general.
Yeah. So how did you get started? I mean, you're a tech wizard. How did you get started in the realm of content?
I mean, we could go back quite a ways. We could go back to a friend and I. How much time do we have? I never wear a watch.
Yeah, we both just we don't even have a universal symbol. Yeah, this is just like, well, my tattoo looks the same. It looks the same today. So it's we're good. Okay, great.
Exactly. So, we could go all the way back to a friend and I just doing a random stuff in front of a camera. And that was like, and we're kind of still doing that today. Mm-hmm. But I think for me personally, it started developing in my later teen years, where I really just discovered how much cinematography and video editing is storytelling. Yeah. And you get to have an impact on people doing that. And that's something I really enjoy doing. Like through my teen years, I love just being behind the camera and moving the thing around. And, as I continue to grow in my craft, like I'm growing each and every day, of course.
Correct.
But I discover new ways to tell stories, to have an impact on people, to make a lasting impact, really. And now that involves anything from streaming to, doing broadcasting, of course, and then telling narrative stories, documentaries, music videos, like everything involving art is someone telling a story. And so that's where that's the very condensed version of how I got involved in content creation. Yes.
Okay. No, that's cool. I mean, because content creation can come from so many different avenues. You're coming at it from an avenue that is, very technical and visual, something that's saying, how do we manipulate the camera? How do we use the camera? How do we use the tools and the equipment in a growing technology field that allows us to tell better stories? For me, like I came at this from an opportunity standpoint. There's a deck building game called Star Realms, and I just started streaming that like a long time, 5.5 years ago now, maybe 6 years, to maybe 5 people, like very small community. But through that, there was an avenue, and people did consume that content, and it improved that community. That community, there was nobody else doing that. I was the only one streaming that game. And so then people started to kind of latch around that. I started to see the opportunity of what content could be around that. I started to grow the product, create tournaments, create events, create leagues. That turned into looking for other avenues, and eventually, to shorten the story, end up, crossing the threshold of Twitch partner, end up starting to get into video editing, which you taught me a lot of things about video editing, and look at us, here we are sitting next to each other. But then, getting into, professional video editing. And so now being able to tie all that together, it's interesting that we both kind of arrived in similar spaces, but we came from completely different avenues. I came from like the live streaming avenue, and you came from the technology avenue of like actually recording and being behind the camera.
And that's the beauty of this all coming full circle, is there's not one way to do content creation. Exactly. Like we both come at it from, I think, very different points of view, probably have somewhat similar goals, I would imagine, as far as attributing value to people.
Right.
But we have very different ways of approaching things, and neither thing is necessarily wrong. Like, I am somewhat a little bit too particular about how I want to do.
Well, and I'm too unparticular. If that's a word.
We balance each other out.
I didn't hang a microphone by a rope from the ceiling. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we all come from our different.
I wish I'd done that.
I mean, it served its purpose. Okay,
Yeah,
in a fix, I'm just going to attach it to the ceiling. We're just going to move on. But at the same time, I mean, we're here, doing this podcast. We have a great setup, here for this, and that's, I would not be able to do this. The fact that it's almost like there's a great combination of yin and yang in showing these two different avenues.
Yeah, for sure.
With us today is our guest, Andre Samuels, otherwise known as Dreezy. He is the community manager and brand streamer, right now working with StreamSix, expanding the brand and building the community out. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Guys, so excited to meet you guys finally.
Yeah, face to face, right?
I feel like celebrities.
Oh, jeez.
A lot taller than I was expecting, though.
It's
great.
We get that a lot.
Yeah.
It is interesting. I mean, when you're on the stream, the camera, like my camera's a little bit high set, so it kind of goes down a little low. So people think maybe I'm a little bit shorter, but no.
Completely taken away, but really happy to be here. Really excited.
Yeah. So what is your story? I mean, we've kind of shared like our story. Everybody has their own story about how they get into this. Where'd you come from as far as content creation?
I'll tell you, I'm going to go with Bax. That's
I respond to both. I respond. I equally respond to Sam or Bax.
You're known to me forever as Bax.
So funny story we got here, and my wife was like, I want to know their real names so I can call them by real names. She has not called him Sam once.
she knew my name, and then she's been calling me Bax. Okay, you just wanted the knowledge. Okay.
I'll be totally honest. Streaming for me is like a second chance. I feel like my whole life, I always wanted to get into acting. I wanted to, I'm not going to say Hollywood, but I just wanted to do some sort of acting. And I did really well for the younger part of my life. You guys probably don't know about this because it's more Canadian news, but I actually did a documentary a few years back that got second place in Toronto Film Festival, and it did really well. And I was trying to kind of evolve from that. I mean, basically, I'm a wash-up actor that just, really, really tried his best. And I look at streaming, for me personally, as a second chance. It's like, it's a way where I could still let out my personality, even if there's not that many people watching. And it's not like this whole Hollywood thing. At least I get my release out of just showing my personality, being me. Even if I make a few people laugh, it's so rewarding for me, man, that like, I'm just like, okay, you know what? I didn't apply myself. I didn't go to school. I didn't like do crazy. I wasn't hungry enough like the Brad Pitts and you know what I mean? I just didn't have it enough because maybe I don't know. I'm not gonna make excuses, but streaming for me is that's basically what it is, what I mean? Yeah. And I love every minute of it, So that's what I look at it. And there's so much more to it. I can go into it for hours, but on the gist, because I just heard like your upbringing, like the whole getting to audio and really that was your passion that led you here. And then your story was also awesome. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So then like I sit there and I'm like, I was like really just thinking to myself, like, I don't know. Is this really what it is? And to me, I feel like, that's what it comes down to. I can't, there's no other, I can't make an excuse, that's at the core of it. That's what it is.
Well, I mean, let's build off that. Like, I think a lot of what we're looking at today is the ability for people to, not make excuses when it comes to their content. It's not to say that if you have better equipment, you're going to be able to not make better content. It's to say that nothing is stopping you from making content. Like when I started, I had an awful computer. It might as well have been a Windows 95 Pentium 2. I mean, it was just ancient. And I'm streaming, and I streamed with a really bad webcam. And a lot of people, like, the content is there. Like, you meet the content where you're at with the means that you have, and then you just go from there, right? And then you start to say, okay, well, if I get enough money, set a goal on your stream or something, set a goal for your content that says if we cross this threshold, I'll get a new camera. And then you make these upgrades really slowly over time. This doesn't happen overnight. But that's not something necessarily that we see in the conversation. A lot of people just see shiny things, a video that says you have to get this product, a video that says, if you don't have this, you're really missing out. And I think it leaves a lot of streamers kind of like in perpetual FOMO, right? Like,
what the problem I think is that most people, the minute they see something new or they see something exciting, they right away, they look at the final product, so like you look at a streamer, right away you think of the ninjas, just the biggest one, and everyone thinks it's like a quick scheme, like, oh, it's a get rich quick. It's like, no, you have to put in the work. People understand that there's so much work involved. And I look at it as, you know what the funny thing is? It took me a while to learn this. I thought at the beginning that I could just do this on the side. It's just like a little thing I can make some money from. It's like, now doing this a second time around, I really look at it as it's a lifestyle. It really is a lifestyle. Like, and I'll give you an example. If you're a baker and you want to get into streaming, right? You're not a baker and you're doing streaming on the side. No, you're a streamer and you bake on the side. Like, that's the way I look at it. It's like streaming is it's a lifestyle. It's not necessarily even a full-time job. It's just a lifestyle. There's so much more that people don't see. Like, they don't see about us, that when we click the off button, the off stream, we're still working at our craft. We're still designing. We're still thinking of the next day. We're still thinking of what we're gonna. It's like this. Maybe the stream to the community, to our friends has stopped, but in us, the stream is always going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're always constantly trying to, whether it's like communicating with your friends or other streamers. Another thing that I love about it is that it's so two-dimensional. Like, you look at celebrities, for example. There's the fans. And then there's Hollywood, like there's the celebrities, right? What I find so interesting in streaming is that it's more fused, meaning there's celebrities, but sometimes we, as like these known people, we are also community members. Like, we go into the channels and we follow other people. So it's like, you know what I mean? Imagine if that ecosystem was in Hollywood, for example. It's like the craziest ones going into another, you know what I mean? I'm sure they do it.
Some of them do.
Some of them do. That's what I'm saying.
And some of them do it anonymously too.
Absolutely.
Right?
For sure.
Correct,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, as I grew up, I used to see this. You see these movies and it's always the same crew. Like, Adam Sandler has his crew of the actors. It's like, you always see them always, and so that's what I love about streaming, is that like, we are these streamers, but at the same time, we're both. We're streamers, community members. It's like, I just find it fascinating. Like, the minute you see a name in the stream, that's a streamer.
Right. It's like, even after I'm sure you guys do the same thing, but usually when I finish up a stream, we go into a raid or something, and then, I do my best to like stay there and talk to people, or as I'm casually browsing, like, I'd look for people that are doing the similar types of stuff we're doing to try and engage with them. Like, I still sometimes will see if I can find any DaVinci Resolve streamers. I'm sure. And just talk with them and see what their experience is, because I want to be involved in providing value to other people in some way. So, because you said it, you got it right on those. We are community members. Like, we're front-facing people in an organizational standpoint, but we're also working on the back end. 100%. And we're like, I like the example you brought up of as soon as we turn it off, we're still working and stuff. And if you've ever been to a live concert and stuff, if you've ever been there when all the setup is happening or teardown is happening, like, everybody that goes to a concert sees the band, like the 4 or 5 people that are
finished product.
Yeah,
they don't see the behind. They don't see
like 50, 100 people that are working and doing all this stuff behind the scene, which is what, contrasting back to streaming and StreamSix, like, we're the front facing people for StreamSix. People see us all the time, but there's so many more people in the background that, like, I still don't even know everybody that's working behind the scenes. So it's kind of fascinating.
That's why shout out to sorry to cut you off. That's why shout out to the both of you for doing this podcast. You guys are giving the spotlight to the rest of the company, to like everybody, showing our personality, showing who we really are. Like, there's so many funny, hilarious staff members. I'm sure you already met some that are behind the scenes. So funny, but it's like, sometimes I'm thinking like, like, maybe one day you come on stream and I'll sit and do it. I can't do what they do. So
agreed. A few of them actually tried to say that what we were doing was like harder than what they were doing, and I was like, I could not do what you do. Like, you are a professional. This is incredible right now. So to the point, like, what you guys are bringing up is this idea that streaming can be like a 24/7 job. Like, I mean, how many times have we woken up with an idea for a stream or lost sleep? Trying to think of a stream, or the anxiety of being on stream, being on camera. What are some ways that you either mitigate that anxiety, or ways in which people who are looking to just get into content, like maybe they are afraid because it's overwhelming. Every single person has an opinion on what you should do, the best practice, how often to upload, what video process, like what video editing, you should use. Like, it's endless. Yeah. There's an endless stream of advice. How can we parse that down for somebody who just wants the brass tacks of how can I share what I love? How can I share my passion in the easiest way while not getting all stressed out about all these things, all these voices out there telling us what to do?
I'm going to go somewhere you probably don't expect me to go with this.
I love that. Please. Surprise me.
That's gonna say, let's go. To your sentence.
And done. Let's end the podcast and thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's a wrap.
We don't need any more. We're good.
For showing up. No, there's actually one word that I would use for it, and it's accountability. And the reason I go into that area is because everybody you see that gives stream help tips is, what can I do? Or like, what can you as an individual do to better your content? Like, stream on multiple, like make content on multiple platforms, do this type of content, and like make sure you edit stuff this way and stuff. But nobody talks about the sense of accountability that you got to have somebody that you can go to if you're having a rough time that can build you up and encourage you in a way that like nobody else could. That's the part of building communities that I feel is missing from a vast majority of content creators. Because if you have somebody that you can go to, like you just came to me like a month ago about an issue you're having with an edit that was just like, I can't remember exactly what the issue was, but it was just,
I remember I was just blocked.
It was just this mental block of just like, I feel like I'm losing my sense of inspiration. I feel like I'm losing my sense of creativity, and I feel like I've just wasted this much time and stuff. And we were in that days. We all certainly had those days, and but we've been at the point, like we've known each other for years, and so you were able to come to me and I was able to like see where you were at and say like, dude, I've certainly been there, and I can look back at stuff I've made years ago and say that like I was really proud of this at the time, and I would do this so much differently now. And I think that's the way you should always look at your content. Like you're always improving your content no matter how long you've been doing it.
True.
But that's not to say that what you're doing now you can't be proud of.
Correct. It's very true.
It's a sense of failing forward. Like if you make something and it's, you feel like you have to get something out and it doesn't do as great as you were hoping it would, or you just, again, you feel stuck in a rut. You feel stuck in a creative rut. There's like having somebody that you can go to that it's just like, man, I feel you and I see where you're at. I've been there too. And this is how I've dug myself out of it. The accountability aspect in that, I think, is exactly what a lot of streamers are missing.
Love it. Well, I needed that phone call. Where the hell were you 2017? I could have used
I was there.
I could have used that freaking like, you just made me feel good right now with that little conversation. I am not a failure, Mom.
Who's made the time travel? We'll send you back. You're ready to go, and we'll change the world. We'll do it.
For me, I would definitely say any advice I would have at its core, I would say baby steps. I would say do not rush it. Don't go super hard into it. Even if you want to start off, if you're not even sure, no cam. Just start with no cam. Just start with no cam. Just audio. Don't even do audio. Just hit the like button. There's many times, and I want to say this to anybody who's starting in. Don't think like, oh my God, it's just me. Even me at its core, there was many times back in the day where it would be hard for me to click on that live. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. Am I good enough? Am I prepared enough? Am I going to make them laugh? I don't want to fail. You know what I mean? And then, but you fight through it. And so I would say baby steps. And if if you're trying to do this for a source of income or, like or something on the side, I would say, don't do it, because it's something that you need to grow. You need to grow it very slowly. You have to really nurture it and love it. And if you're trying to do this for a quick buck, you might get a couple hundred here and there, but it's going to plateau very soon.
So just to clarify, it's not so much that somebody can look at a long-term goal of making money. It's to say the culture of overnight success, or the fact that somebody's just going to show up to your stream and give you $1,000. That's, you got to set that aside.
Absolutely. Well, it could happen. There's Mr. Beast.
Correct. It's not right.
It's not out there.
I'm not saying it won't happen.
Yeah, it could happen. But just don't hit the like button expecting it to come.
Have the reality. Have the reality in your head about what you're doing, and have no expectations.
Yes.
I would say I like that, and I would even go a bit further and kind of almost like combine these and say embrace failure. Embrace the idea of like this is.
Say that again.
So
embrace. Say it again. Like it's
Fabrice failure.
Yeah, I love it because there's so many. Me personally as well. Like it was such a huge fear of that.
Yeah.
And even if you say that, I get goosebumps as you say it, man. Like It's like we need to let the youth know that it's trial. Look at the show we did, man. My audio. I still look at that. I still look at that like, and I have some friends. I'm still sweating.
He's like, oh my god,
I have some friends that will still DM me and be like, that was the funniest thing. It was just great. And
it's true.
And it's true.
Yeah, it was golden content.
And then all of a sudden, they're like, who are those guys? And I'm like, Tim and Bex. Like, oh, I need this. And I'm like,
Tim,
go look for them.
For those who don't know, Dreezy ran a game show, and every technical issue that could happen did.
Oh god!
And it made content.
It did.
It almost made. It might have been better content than what it could have been.
Yeah.
Like you don't know that.
That should be the next segue.
That's
content is king. Whatever.
I just want to reiterate that. So I'm a partnered streamer. I'm partnered on Twitch. I go live. Right now it's just about twice a week for different events with marbles. Yeah. I have anywhere from 100 to 200 people in my stream, and it's important that I have been doing this for. I think I've been streaming for almost 6 years now, like on and off, and I still hesitate over the live button. That's not. There's not a time that might come where you're just suddenly this altruistic streamer that has no fear. It's that fear is a constant battle, and that's okay. Yeah. Accept that, acknowledge it, and then just say, you know what, everything's going to be all right. Because I still do that. And I forget there was a musician who it's a famous one, so maybe I shouldn't even tell the story because I don't remember their name. But they've been doing music for 50 years, and they were throwing up before every concert. This is on the record. Every concert, they would get so nervous. Yeah. But then once they got going, everything was okay. But it's to say there's no right or wrong way to do this. If you feel anxious or something like that, that's okay. Just embrace that, accept it. I still hesitate over that button every time before I click it, just being like, take a breath and showtime, right? It's okay. It's okay.
Thought is literally what makes me click the live button. You just said something that's so important. You literally said, after it's done, after you hit the live button and you complete the stream, you feel like that wasn't so bad. I killed it. Right. I crushed it. Right. And that's the thought that I have every time I hit it. I'm like, it's coming in, it's starting in. Just click the live. You know that at the end of the stream, it's going to be fine. Just do it. Mm-hmm. And then sure enough, it comes and you rely. And we're just listen, we're very vulnerable talking about very personal things. Mm-hmm. But I feel like in my art, the more we do this, literally real talk right now, as friends right now, the more we do this, we will spread so much love to that youth, and you never know what can come out of, what kind of streamer can come out of that. Right,
right. It's very true.
Yeah, so it's mm-hmm. Shout out to Bex. No,
and there's the other.
Can we cut the podcast?
Amazing.
Let's cut the podcast there. We're gonna have so many podcast cuts. It's great.
You guys, by the way, you guys don't know the scene that Tim set up. You're like, this is like. I feel like I'm in NASA right now of cameras. I said of cameras.
But even if you have a pen camera, a camera on the end of a pen. Stream with that.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Go nuts. This has been built over years and years and years of trials and tribulation and failures and successes. So
yeah. And I also want to there's the being anxious and stressed out of going live or even posting a video for that instance. That's completely normal. And then there's the other side of it where, let's say you're just having a bummed out day. The day is just going terrible and stuff. That
happens.
Or
all of us.
My 3-year-old, she woke up at 2 a.m. and didn't fall asleep. Yeah. And now it just I feel terrible today. So not to kind of steal your hosting thunder, but I am co-host. But so when you guys are in the situation, where it's just it's not that you're anxious or stressed necessarily, because we all have those moments, but when you're just bummed out, and you I don't want to hit the like button today. I'm not feeling it today. How do you pick yourselves up from that?
That's a great question. For me, the answer is that I never feel bad after I've gone live. So once a lot of that feeling, if I'm sick, I'll just say I'm sick and I'm not streaming, right? I'm not going to try to stream through illness if I'm actually in a place where I can't. Yeah, but if I'm in a place where maybe there's a lot of anxiety, maybe I have a little bit of a headache or a stomach ache, and then that starts to turn, what happens is it snowballs, right? You have one little variable, that variable turns into another one. And then you start to say, I don't even think I should stream. They'll know I'm sick and I won't be able to give them the presentation that I'm supposed to. And they're going to be really disappointed. And I never feel that way once I stream. Once I start streaming and the people come in and, a community member will just say oh yeah, whatever, I might even say it out loud. I've done this in the past. I don't necessarily do that anymore, but like I used to just say that I wasn't feeling good, and somebody just be like, yeah, I don't care, I'm glad you're here. That's literally like communities of people. Like when you develop, even like when I only had 3 or 5 viewers, like just a little bit of viewers, they were just glad I was streaming. They didn't care, and then that's something that I have always kept with me from when I started, is realizing that how I feel is not how they feel.
Right.
My anxiety, my slight headache, or these nuanced things that I might consider stream breaking are not. They are actually something that I am trying to use out of my own fear of going live. And so once again, it comes down that deep breath before clicking live. Do it. As soon as I'm talking to somebody, it's like I feel it's all good. It's awesome, okay. Everything's fine. And I look at me connecting with somebody, and if I hadn't done that, this connection wouldn't exist.
That's awesome. Yeah. My strategy is a little different. I mean, I'll look at my fellow friends, remind myself that I'm not married with no kids. Yes. I can drink chocolate milk out of a vase.
Yeah, we're good. And cut the podcast. There's podcast number 3.
But no, all jokes aside, anytime I have that just stress or just any type of negativity at all, I literally just go back down to just becoming humble, and I literally think of my past and what I used to do for a living, and how just labor inducive it was, and just being out, especially in Canada. You guys I don't know what kind of weather you have all around, like all year, but it gets really cold in Canada in the winter, and
we're fighting that out very quickly.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna, you don't even know. It's not even. You came at like a good time.
Every single person said that exact same thing. They're like, "This isn't even bad yet."
Are you kidding me? I'm gonna play basketball.
This is summer. I went swimming before I shut up here.
But so I literally just, there was days where I would go, not days, weeks, months, years, where I would go outside, at 3, 4 in the morning, fixing equipment, trucks and stuff with my father. That was his job that he kind of I inherited from him, and it was very hard work, and I always remembered, especially when I was younger, gaming as video games. Like it was very much like I'm sure we'll get into that later on, but like gaming was very much an outlet for me. It was a safety net. I'm not going to say I had a horrible childhood. I love my mom, I love my dad, I love my family. It was great, but there was a lot of fighting. There had a lot of differences, and I was a very emotional, very sensitive kid. My brother was the complete opposite. He was the more hardcore, you could put things on it. I was the complete opposite, super sensitive. I literally still until today, I'll watch, The Voice auditions at night and sometimes scared if it's a good audition. I'm being told honest, that's my release if I ever need to cry.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all, But, so yeah, when there was a lot of fighting, I would just put on those headsets, whether it was Duke Nukem, whether it was whatever Doom, Quake, whatever game it was, I would just put on the headsets. It would no more yelling. I wouldn't hear the fighting in the background. I would just disconnect, and go into my little, zone. So I very much, anytime that I'm in a stress or I'm just like, I just don't, because we have those days where we just like
always,
a bad day.
Always.
It's like, and it's not that we love our community. We love chilling. We love talking. It's just
every time.
We just literally want to just sleep in a bath for 3 hours for me at least, just to unwind and just, a horrible day, So that's literally what I think about is I legit think about my past, on how hard it was and how fortunate I am. And that's literally what makes me hit the live button. The minute I do, no regrets. It's like, oh my God, I really can't believe I almost didn't hit the live button. I really, that's like, you want to,
exactly.
Right.
You want to just like, and then like 20 minutes into it, you're just like, this is my place. I'm so happy I did this, but then the next day, the same thing. It's like demons. We got to fight our demons.
It is a daily thing. Stephen Pressfield, the author, he describes it as a resistance. He says there is a neutral force, and it is something that you will feel every single day. And the more you feel it, the more you're going in the right direction. Absolutely. I think for gamers, the nomenclature is if you're running into enemies, you're doing the right thing, right? That's what the game wants you to go down the path of resistance. And this is something that streamers definitely experience, not only physically with like a schedule and the work, but it's a mental game, right? And and I will say this because this is already my 3rd company I stream for. There will come a time, and I don't want to jinx myself, knock on wood, there will come a time where the battle is less hard, where the hitting the stream is so much easier, and you will evolve into a day where all those fears go away, completely just disappear. I'm getting there slowly, and it's becoming
like bliss. You know what I mean? To the point where, and I'm sure you guys have it too. You could sit at the end of the day. Also, you could tell when you watch a streamer, you could see if they're literally just streaming for the likes, if they're literally streaming because they love what
for the connection,
for the connection, just for friendship.
Yes,
you could say, and you know the funny things, I tell this to newer streamers all the time. I'm like, this goes back down to what I was saying about Hollywood, about there's chat and we're streamers. And I literally tell my friends, I'm like, the chat isn't stupid. We're so witty and sophisticated. Like they could pick up nuances and BS right away. Immediately. Sometimes I would stream and I would hold something up and right away the chat would know like, oh, so you went there on that day and Friday this, just because I was holding chocolate milk man. It's like, how did you know all that?
Right.
You know, because they pick, because all they have is what they see, right? And they
it's a living thing.
Right. So it's like slowly you realize that it becomes so much easier. And so I just want to say, because we have been talking a lot about our fears and stuff like that, and I don't want to portray that like that's really all it isn't just that, you know. It's like eventually as you grow, you become comfortable with yourself, and then you never look like the reason we're bringing this up is for the newer generation, for whoever wants to get into it, right? We want them to know that it's not in your head if these issues arise. This is a general thing that we all deal with. Yeah. But I also want them to know that, man, the minute it's good, it's so good. And you know what I mean? It's so good, you know? And you know what I will say before I let you speak, I'll say this, like, you don't even imagine how good it can get. It just, and not to like butter you guys up, but like meeting you guys, meeting the Marble crew, like everybody, it's this new company, everything, all in it. It's just more and more and more. And I can't explain. I don't get all emotional, but I can't explain literally how amazing it is. And personalities, relationships, that also helps, right? Like now, like it's so easy for me to hit. I can't wait to go live and just bring out the personality and just see everybody. Like I literally get, you know, it's funny. I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to mention the name, but someone always tells me like, don't get so excited when you get rated by certain people. I have advice from friends. Some of you probably know, but it doesn't matter. So because he's smiling in the corner of his eyes. So I don't know. Tell me, don't get so excited. But literally, and I hear it and I take it, I know it, but I just can't. I get so excited because I know when I get a raid from Backstone, I know it's just it's fine. It's a raid, but it's also just like, to me, it's a, hey man, just finished streaming, had a great time. Here are my homies, gonna go to bed. Can't wait to do this again, type of thing. You know, or like, hey bro, like keep it up, or like, you know what I mean? It's just like to me, what is a raid now? It's just like it's like a good night, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to bed. Look after my people. You know what I mean? I just pass out. You know, that's like, so it's just more family, bigger, more, and it's just now it's so effortlessly that man. I don't want to talk bad about the other companies I work for. They were great. I love them. Blessing, you know, was the upcoming, but this one really, it's family, bro. So
yeah. So and I think to progress forward a little bit more is just. I think once you get to the point where you're not necessarily just streaming for yourself, but you're streaming and content creation in general, not just streaming, but you're doing it for other people. That's when you start to open up this. I don't know even what to call it, but it's like it's like a different kind of mindset of you're providing value for other people. And once you get out of this, I don't want to go full on like it's a selfish entitlement to like you're streaming for yourself to make money and or whatever from it. But once you kind of expand out and say, I'm making someone's day better because I'm live, or I made somebody's content experience better because I posted this video, and you see the result that you're having from that, or maybe sometimes you don't even see the result because somebody could be just watching your stream and not say anything, but their day's better. You know, sometimes you never even know the impact that you can have.
It's so true.
Somebody. But I found, at least for me personally, like once I've been able to open myself up and realize that, like I can have that kind of positive impact on people, you kind of, the selfishness of it starts to dwindle away, and then you start to stop thinking about it in terms of like I'm anxious that like I'm not going to do a good enough job, because you know, just like both of you were pretty much saying, like once you go live, they're like, I'm glad you're here.
Yep.
And that's huge.
Like,
that's
so
huge.
It's so important.
Yeah, because now you're like, that's really what the community aspect of it is all about. You are there for them. You are helping other people. You are making an impact on people. You are making a difference.
Yeah.
And that, whether it's you're streaming to 3 to 5 people, whether you're streaming for hundreds, sometimes thousands of people, doesn't matter.
It doesn't. And that's the thing, is the connection is always there, and it can't always be there. And a lot of people, you might stream and, one thing, I don't know, I'm just going to toss out a random tip. Don't look at your follower count while you're live. Don't look, or any, like when you're live.
I did that the first 2 times around. Now I don't look at it at all.
Just don't do it. I mean, it's a preference thing. I understand that, but you need to get everything out of your head that can work in a negative way to put you in a toxic mindset that says you're not doing the right thing. When you go live, like be there in the thing.
I want to challenge you on that. I don't think it's a preference thing. I really think we should literally be a voice and explain to the youth that it's not a good thing. It's not needed.
So when you let
me ask you a question. If you invite people to a party, right? Mm-hmm. Like let's say you guys both throw a party, right?
Yeah.
Are you ever
together? Or?
Together.
Okay. We're doing a party. Yeah. Okay. Birthday cake.
Okay. 2 hours into the party.
Yeah.
Do you ever like go to like Tim? Like, yo, man, Tim, how many people you think we got here? Like 40, 50 people in this party, and then you'll be like, I don't know, like 50 people. All right, cool. But then an hour later, so Tim, how many people you think we have at this party now? You think we have like you don't really care about how many people come to chill, right? I personally think unless you have sponsorship, unless you are propelled to that next level that we can talk about, I don't think it's an important thing. I don't think it's needed to see. Like why do you care how many people are watching you?
I mean, there is so are you
stream for
but you're talking about just live, right?
Just live,
because obviously analytics are important.
I'm just talking about just live.
So this would be the only thing I would say is if we're using this example, like if you've run a party and it's like, hey Tim, I'd be able to have your none. 0. Okay. 1 is that Bob in the corner and he's hanging out like at that like I just want to show I just want to say I mean that but that's what I'm saying is like at the same time it's like it's just to say that there is a space where you need to know that when you're streaming like it's okay, we've been there this is a reality of streaming, like that you kind of have to walk into the unknown over a cliff. Your friends are going to support you, right? You can, hey, I'm streaming, come hang out, let's play some games on stream. But don't fear those things. Growth happens because you're able to take a courageous step forward in content. Yeah. Content doesn't happen if you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott, right? Like that you need to be willing to take a shot, embracing that failure. I want to mention, because we have you here, like you and I in particular are very quiet, reserved people. Yeah. Right? So sorry about that. Are the mics still working now? Are they still?
What is stopping? Are there seagulls here?
Yeah. So let's look at this as like a form of branding. This is something I think about all the time. This is something that causes me that anxiety. Let's say I'm having one of these days, maybe a little bit of a stressful day, busy day. Maybe I need to decompress, but I got to go live in 30 minutes. I'm an energetic person on stream, and that's a part of my brand. I know that. I know I'm as a commentator, I professionally commentated Rocket League. Like this is something where if I can't bring that, I'm not bringing my brand. That's something that kind of, affects me in ways where I have to kind of consider that and think about that. I mean, for you, how do you think about that as far as your energy is a part of your brand and your personality? Yeah, what do you think?
I would say,
and then after that, I'd like to have your opinion on it.
Yeah.
I want to get it.
I started off by saying, I like acting. I'm into acting and stuff like that. I always wanted to do it growing up. But when it comes to streaming, it's very much, it's in my opinion, it's impossible. You have to be yourself when you're streaming. You just have to. So I am at its very core. My mom, Moroccan, my father, Russian, the house always, lit up, craziness, lots of... In order to be heard in my household, you have to yell, is what I'm trying to say. You have to. If you don't yell in my household, you wouldn't have been heard, right? Because just everyone, it's like sometimes this was in a lot of my past relationships, I would be loud and, my exes would be like, why are you yelling at me? And I'd be like, I swear I'm not yelling.
That's my default volume.
This is literally my default.
You don't want to know yelling.
You don't want to know what you're saying. Like even now I'm talking, like this is just me. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No, I hear you. Yeah.
And that's also, I think, why I so relate to both of you, but you especially, because you're so like that too. You're super loud. So even in our meetings and stuff, it's like I don't feel anymore like I'm the loudest. I'm sorry. No, I'm done. You're amazing. You're amazing. No, but that's what I'm saying is like, so I embrace it. I just go fully, because I know that if I try to suppress it, or I try to, and I could, if I really, if I really, really try, I could. I could be in a professional setting. I know how to relax myself. I'm not You know what I mean? On the spectrum, I know how to control, but I will say that I embrace it. I go all out because I definitely don't want that in the bottom of my head now, just thinking autopilot like that. I'm just me. And what happens is it's loud.
Cool.
It's obnoxious. It's loud. And, I said that twice. Loud twice. That's how loud it is. But
3 times now, 4 times now.
That's
wow.
And
It's getting louder.
count it? No, don't count. He said there's no point to count.
What's happening?
So that's
we're live. I'm not following the numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
That's basically what it comes down to. It's just I embrace it. I like it. And I hope that people enjoy it. Like I usually tell people, like the minute they enter the channel, it's like, put your volume at
Get
1.
ready.
Put your volume at 1 because it's very loud.
If I have to, I want to rephrase the question for you because I think a lot of people, because you are incredibly knowledgeable about your topic and you are more soft-spoken when it comes to like your content and your streaming and your style. So this would be like, it's almost like framing the question the opposite way. Like if you're looking at your content, do you ever worry about, I need to be more energetic, more loud, more catchy, or any of these things? Or are you like, no, like this is me, this is what I'm doing? Like,
so I know I have like kind of a niche perspective when it comes to streaming and making content. I think I do tend to, up my energy a little bit for a streaming purpose because, I don't want to be boring. I don't want to like just, this is how you edit something and, blah, blah.
that's common.
Yeah, that. But no, but I also think I'm not pretending. Like when I do go live, it's not like when I'm upping my energy almost artificially. Like I'm still not necessarily being somebody that I'm not. Like I'm just being an extension of myself. I'm being somebody that people can like listen to and learn something from. And I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about like I'm there to provide help to people and I'm very extroverted. Like I'm probably one of the quietest extroverts you'll meet because I could be in like a crowd of
amen.
Yeah, I could be like in a crowd of 4 people, like not many people. And I could just be there, not say anything. People think I'm like, oh, this guy hates being here. He's so quiet and stuff. But I just enjoy the company. So I don't necessarily need to be saying stuff. So when it going back to streaming, though, it's like you don't have that necessarily because nobody's talking back directly to me. So when I go live, I'm just thinking like I just enjoy being with my community. So I get to like just talk and be with people and. Like, even though they're not there physically, I know that there's people out there, and that's like kind of what gives me energy and ways to push through it.
It's funny.
That's cool.
Your perspective literally just like unlocked doors for me right now, man.
Yeah, it's coming at it from the opposite standpoint because I know that you and I, like, we come up from the other way where it's like if we aren't at 150%, like that's a part. That's not only our brand; it's kind of who we are. Right. We have high energy, and he's coming at it from an opposite stance.
And he's making me realize right now that. Maybe, and this is going to be so hard for my branding, but maybe I'm so loud and obnoxious because I'm scared that I don't really have so much to offer. Like, you have so much knowledge in camera. So I'm sitting here listening to him. I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, if I was Tim, if I had all that knowledge, I would be so quiet. I'd just show you some gigawatts. Da Vinci this, Da Vinci that.
That's actually brilliant. That's incredible.
Out of fear that I have nothing to offer people, I'm like, love me. You know what I mean? And then that's what I think I need to do. Dude, I'm literally coming over and teaching you Da Vinci.
No, you need to learn. We're gonna have Dreezy and the Black Magic Cloud editing our trailers.
I don't know anything. I hope Owen doesn't see this.
Okay.
Delete everything. Shut it off.
No, and that's the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. But okay, this is brilliant though, because the idea here is you're exactly right. That there is a sense that I feel a similar kind of a thing. I know that though that's a little bit of like imposter syndrome, which is one of the things that kills the most streamers out there. Like streamers who are by monetarily very successful stop streaming. They burn out. They get imposter syndrome. They think they aren't offering something. Because of whatever comparison game, because of the numbers, the analytics, but this is
and there's the aspect of like they felt like they've gotten everything out there already. So
there's more. You know, like there's.
I mean, this is something that on the ground level, like we can certainly talk about this. To make the final point, I think this is really interesting. That if you are kind of safe in the knowledge of what you know, you probably don't feel a pressure to be loud. So that is just, that's like an objective statement that you can take in any way, but it is a very, very like interesting observation.
I feel like I'm going on Twitch now and look for quiet people and be like, he doesn't know anything. Why is he so quiet? You need
need to be louder.
Where's the value?
That's so.
Give me like a little math question. You got it wrong.
So at the ground level, it's like it is important. Like if you are trying to build a community and you want to start streaming something very important, I think, to look at, and this is something that I considered a long time ago. But like when I was streaming Star Realms, I was the only person who streamed it. So I had a monopoly.
What's the game called? This game?
Star Realms. It's a deck building game.
I've heard it.
It's a very simple deck building game. So
you did a like because it's an app game. No?
Yeah, it's an app. But it's on Steam. It's on Steam.
Oh, okay, got it.
So
how did you stream it from your phone?
But we did. Like they would release some stuff like onto the phone that wasn't on the app, and I would have like a camera, or I'd play at the table, right? We'd set up cameras at a table to play. But the idea here is that I kind of had a monopoly on that game. It was a niche. It was something where I knew that when I went live, like my content was the content. There was little competition. Other people, which was my goal, was to inspire other people to stream, and it worked. So there was a whole bunch of people that started streaming Star Realms. Yes, awesome. Amazing. Success. It was so cool. And then I was able, there's no spectator mode in the game. So I had other people stream, and then I browser sourced. I used OBS browser source. I had 15 different browser sources running simultaneously, capturing them streaming so that I could go.
How old were you at this point?
I mean, I started streaming like 6 years ago.
Surprised you didn't you should have like reached out to the company and
I mean, but you're business minded. I'm not business minded.
No, because I'm literally you're doing huge,
right? But I'm a chaotic creative, so that's definitely where I come from. But the reason I bring that up because if people to get to the point. If you want to like start streaming and you're saying, I'm going to start streaming Fortnite, there's expectations that come with this. That's a saturated market.
Right.
If you were going to try to build a stream with Fortnite, that introduces its own variables and struggles because you are lost in a sea of Fortnite streamers, some of which have dominated the platform. I think something that a lot of people should consider is playing what you love. If it's Fortnite, great, but have expectations that match what you're doing, or find a niche, find something. What's another game that you really, really love playing that you can attach to a community that is looking for somebody to be in that spot, like what I did for Star Realms, or what for anybody can do for the amount of indie games that exist right now. Mm-hmm. Like how many of them could use some streamers, and they're so good too. That's the thing. The quality of games and the quantity have both astronomically like risen through the roof.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
And from my perspective, like being someone that like I love cinematography and video editing. I know that's like that's what my passion is. That's what I've been doing for a living for the past 12 years now. I want to say almost 12. No, it's 11, whatever. But so like I know where I can go in terms of in creating content over that. But there's the aspect of what you bring up is like, you do want to find your niche. You do want to find what kind of thing that you can bring value to other people and stuff, whether that's in a saturated market or something that's an indie platform where you could provide a lot more value in an unsaturated market.
Very true.
But I think the thing to really keep in mind is you don't have to like get you all caught up in this. Like I have to define my niche, or I have to know all of this stuff to be able to stream. I have to know like all of this stuff to be able to do this. Like, no, if you like, let's say you've been editing for 6 months, you have more experience and knowledge than somebody that hasn't edited before. You can still provide value to somebody that hasn't done anything in this field that you've been doing something in for less than a year.
So to get that like bottom line, you're saying that this isn't something so much as far as finding out what the niche is, as far as saying, do you have value? Like, is your content creating value for a potential viewer? And if the answer is yes, like rock and roll, you're doing it. You're doing what the goal is for what's happening.
Yeah, and I kind of want to like pivot over to Dreezy with this is like, you're not an editor. And again, that's not like, that's not a bad thing at all. It's like you have a very, very charismatic personality, but you can provide value to people just by being there.
I appreciate that.
And that's something that is a skill in and of itself.
I appreciate that. And to let you know, I'm not an editor. I don't need to be because I have two of the best right here. So
too kind.
Like if you want, I can go on a little bit right now, but I don't know what's the. You know what I mean? There's no. So it's definitely. I don't know how to go about it, but very much so. Anytime I'm streaming, regardless of what I'm doing, my number one goal is just to make sure I translate that I'm getting the same feeling, whatever I'm bringing out, like whatever they're feeling, I'm feeling, you know, it's very much a lot of community members sometimes think that it's one way, you know, and that's literally the barriers that I'm trying to break on stream. I go back to always to just like acting and all of it. It's like, that is very much one way. It's fan to celebrity. Celebrity, let's be real. They're not back to fan. Celebrity's just doing this thing. But if you fan, in this situation, it's community member to streamer, but it's streamer back to community member, you know? And there's something that in the back of my mind, I wanted to say this whole interview and I kept it aside until there's a moment to say it, but it's very important. And I want to like literally just shake your hand on it. So you promise me that if ever we get to the situation, I don't make that mistake. God willing, because I really believe in this company and what we're doing, that we will have an amazing community. We already do, but it's just going to grow and become much bigger. If we get to that situation of that type of limelight when it comes to streaming, I don't want to fall into those categories of just going to the abyss and doing our thing of like, you know, I'm talking about like all the bigger streamers. Like it baffles me that we don't see these big streamer names in other people's channel chilling. And maybe I'm not aware to it. Maybe I don't see it, but you rarely see, like we see a lot of streamers with the 100 followers, the 100 viewership, the 1,000 viewership, making the rounds and stuff. But the bigger ones, the ones that are like the 10 and 15,000, they hit the live button. They do their thing with the community. And then they just, you know, they stop the stream and they go into the abyss, right? They're not really in that Twitch community still, in my opinion. I don't see it. So I just want to make sure that, like I said, anything we get from them, we give back to the community. And that's literally what I try to base my whole stream, everything on, you know? Because at the end of the day, I'll tell you, like, this is the third time I'm doing this. And there's a difference between me and you guys is and you guys could dive into it if you want. I can explain to you my thoughts and why, but I don't have my own personal identity. I don't have my own personal channel. Never did. I could have. I always wanted to, but I never did. And the minute I started working for this one company, I gained so many followers from that company. And I thought, okay, I can now pivot to do my own thing, my own Dreezy Live. I still have it. I'm in Twitch. Like, you laughing because you see it. And I could, and I decided not to. I went for this other company and I started working with this other company, met new friends. And then, okay, after this, I could have. And I'm realizing that I like the bigger picture. I like family. I like succeeding with people around me. I like making money, making love, making food, making everything with humans around me. I don't want to do it alone, quiet in a basement on a stream, you know? I want to, so that's why I, as much as possible, need to make the community members or whoever we stream to understand that we need them just as much as they need us.
Yeah.
You know? And I didn't know that until I started with this company, because I still have many friendships from the other companies that I streamed for back in the day. Those friendships will last forever. In fact, some of them came into this channel now, like, hey, you know what you've been up to? Where have you been? And it's like, it warms my heart. You know what I mean? They're like, holy,
for sure.
You know, so it's like, they're friends. They're all friends. Like, you know, and I know right now, if I tell you now, name me, and you don't have to, but name me your top 30 right now in the chat that make you laugh. I know you can go down name by name by name by name by name. I know.
I could.
I know. I don't need you to do it.
I'll end the
I
show,
don't need to do it. Yeah, but I know. You know why I know? You know why I know? Because I'm in your channel too. And I see. I get what all those other members are getting. You know? I get it. And
it's very true.
And I'm sick of giving all these compliments. So I'm going to end with one non-compliment. You should have went into Seneca at York. I mean, I don't know if you know, but there's broadcast journalism everywhere, all over the world.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you're an underachiever. You should have been like a radio host or something. I'm sorry.
I think that's like a backhanded compliment. I think that still counts.
Well, I gave you like 5 compliments in a row. I don't want to
but then you just gave me it's still a compliment. It's like an under the table compliment. Yeah, I don't know.
Bottom line, what I'm trying to say, oh God, this made me sick. One more compliment, then we're done. One more compliment.
Dude, you're doing it. There is no script here. I want to make sure everybody knows. I didn't tell him to do this.
He wrote all.
No,
hold on.
No, this is a closed book. These are my notes. No, you don't have paper over there.
I'll say this. Anytime I'm in your stream, it feels like a show. It doesn't feel. It is a show. It's a show.
Yeah.
And same thing when I'm in the daytime on StreamSix, when I'm watching you editing, it just all these it stays in. It's something that I just don't forget, and I can't forget it. And at the end of the day, you try to learn from it, and you try to grow from it, and you try to, you know what I mean, adapt. And it's all about just learning crafts. And again, back to Hollywood, there's many actors that will take a bit from this person, a bit, and just learn from the, you know what I mean, and adapt it into their style. And that's what we do, you know? And so just super, super happy, man.
The idea here is that because I stream part-time. I streamed 2 times a week, an hour and a half, and that's it for like 2 years. That's all I streamed. It was legitimately part-time. I was always thinking, and that's kind of what you're talking about. But I knew I wasn't trying to be famous. I was just trying to provide a value to the community. And that's what I wanted. If people are like, I want to make this a living and everything, it's a lifestyle now.
Yeah.
You are committing to this as a business model. This is no longer just, I'm going to get lucky. This is, I'm going to work for this. And you still do need some luck, right?
Of course. And also, depending on, you know, your lifestyle and your situation, you also might need like a second form of income, you know? So you might have a job, you might do.
Correct.
So when I say lifestyle, I don't mean like, oh, that's all you have to do. I'm just saying that there's more to just the live and the offline button, you know, like it like I said, it just goes on afterwards. It's talking to the Discord, talking to the community, DMs, answering, sharing memes, you know, setting up for the next day.
If your goal is success, correct.
If you want to make genuine friendships, yes.
Otherwise, well, I mean, you can still make genuine friendships.
Yes.
Like, it's just to say, if you want, there is no quick buck.
Exactly.
How about that?
Yes.
There is no quick buck.
And that's not just in streaming. This is life in general.
Right.
It's like anything you do. People always think like, oh, like there's some sort of quick scheme. Like, it's like, no, man. Yeah. It's like, you got to put in the work if you want to succeed. That's bottom line.
And I think it's important to note that, like, even though streaming and equipment and tech has become a lot more accessible, there's still an avenue of, like, you don't need the most expensive. Like, you don't need thousands of dollars to be able to start streaming and, like, actually make something happen with it. Like, I think Max is a great example of that. Like, he uses what he has incredibly efficiently.
100%.
Like,
dude, his mic is hanging on a string.
Correct.
Like, and that's like,
do you know
that's like a cool thing in and of itself, and it costs nothing. It's amazing. Like,
I didn't want to buy a stand, so I tied it to the wall. I mean, that's like literally. I mean, you just do.
You know the thing. So it's funny. I'll tell you guys a funny story.
Cool.
When we did the Sounds Like stream, my cousin was watching the other room, the whole thing, and he was laughing even though it was like completely, he's like, dude, he thought we did it all on purpose. I'm like, no, that wasn't on purpose. He's like, that was the funny. And he goes to me, he goes, but let me ask you a question. I'm like, okay, yeah, ask me. He's like, why one of the cams, like all you guys, like all the cameras were good and everything, but why one person had something hanging from the, like the, I'm like, oh no, that's like a string hanging the mic. He goes, I'll never forget this. He goes to me, he goes, dude, what's his channel? I'm like, why? It's Bax. It's Bax. So you know Bax because he hears me sometimes. Thanks for the raid, Bax. He goes, it's Bax. He goes, oh, it's Bax. I'm like, he goes, what's the exact channel? I'll donate for him to have it to get a stand. I literally looked, and it was
a scheme to make money.
He was sincere about it too. He literally thought like, and I looked at him. I'm like Ben. I'm like, do you think the man can't afford a mic, dude? Like, it's part of his content. It's part of like.
I mean, if you look at the microphone is an expensive microphone.
Bro, it's
hung from a piece of twine I found at a campsite. I mean, I just like
it's part of it's who you are, and it's like if you take this, it's like it's a story plot. If you take the story,
it's true,
and you eventually get the stand, you get to turn that into content. Oh, Bax is finally has a stand, and then you go that way, or that's what I'm saying. Or it's like it becomes even a thinner rope. And it's like just dwindling. It's about to fall and break. And like you have a goal. When will the mic drop and fall and break? You know what I'm saying? Like you take it any way you want.
It's the mic.
The mic drop. So that's my point. Is I'm trying to explain to him. But that's what that's the thing. What I mean by the lifestyle. It's no. I have it. Streaming is a culture. It's not a lifestyle. It's just. It's you know what I'm saying. Like you were helping me get to what I'm trying to get to. It's like he does. The fact that he didn't understand that. It's like you don't get streaming. You don't get Twitch. You don't get what we. You know what I mean? Like there's so many nuances. There's so many. Even the way we sub. The way we. It's just. It's an identity. I don't know how to explain it.
It's a culture. That's a good way. Like it's a culture, just like in Toronto or in Seattle, like or
that's what it is. Because he doesn't get it. He still doesn't get it. I'm like, if you stream, you get it. Yeah. And if he streams, even for a year, he would understand. He'd be like, oh, I get it. That's a tool. He has that thing. It's a tool.
But that's for him
to capture his like. Just we have all of these things in the stream. We have 50,000 of them going on, and we should I hold on and use whatever we can to like, you know?
But it's the same that everybody's circumstance is different. Where you come from is different. Where I came from is different. Every single streamer is different. Everybody is always trying to maybe be a carbon copy of the most successful streamer, when in reality, we are all different people coming from different backgrounds, different circumstances, different environments, and we need to acknowledge that. And those bring out the personable characteristics that make us who we are as a streamer, as a person, as, you know, as an employee of wherever you work. Like, that's what it is. So for me, it's tying my expensive microphone and dangling it by duct tape from the ceiling. Like, I have streams where the hook broke and I literally just took a roll of duct tape on stream and I'm sitting there smashing a whole roll of duct tape and you can hear it peeling off throughout the stream. Like, and but the point is, don't fear those things. No. That's actually content. The game show, the sounds like, everything went wrong, but instead of fearing that, it's content. It's all content. Be yourself. Don't be afraid. Embrace it. Streaming is a culture. Yeah, it's a culture.
Like, I definitely would have approached it significantly differently. Correct. Because I started streaming back in 2015. So nearly 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was when I was using an iMac with Windows installed on it, and I was using the iMac webcam.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. Just say it one more time.
An iMac with Windows installed on it.
Sorry, continue.
And because hold on. Because I didn't have anything else.
Exactly. You have your circumstances. That's it.
I was camera team, so I had to put like a lens flare in it. So I had this lamp behind me that was shining at the webcam to create some sort of lens flare. Wait, you
made lens flare with a light behind your head?
Yes, I put a lamp behind me. It was terrible.
Right.
It was absolutely asinine.
That's amazing.
And that's what I did. That's what I had.
Right.
And so like coming full circle now is just like now I all of my equipment is not from streaming stuff. Like that's my professional work. So like just years of building up freelance and stuff has done this. But at the same time, I've been able to use that for streaming. So kind of like dual purposing it. So, there's a lot of higher up tech streamers that was like, oh yeah, I have a camera that's specifically for webcam, and I have a camera that's specifically for going out and doing B-roll. I have a camera that's specifically for vlogging and stuff. And it's just like it gets like very kind of ridiculous. Right. It's a point where I feel like it's ridiculous.
Right.
But that's the point where like if you have a phone and you need to just put it up and use that as a webcam because that's what you have, then you're good to go.
Shoot your shot.
You can make it. Like, make the content you can make today so that you can make better content later.
Print it and put that on a shirt.
Yeah. I love that.
Let's do one. You got one phrase that you get into, one sentence that is like an encapsulation of something today. I will say it's embrace failure. For me, embrace failure.
I got mine. You want me to say mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Streaming is a lifestyle. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Streaming is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
Oh, that's two sentences.
Sorry.
Actually, no, you just said the same thing three times. So I'll count it. If it's the same phrase, you can say it in a paragraph form. Streaming is a lifestyle. Streaming is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. Streaming is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. Streaming is a lifestyle.
I like shake like a wine.
Streaming is a lifestyle. Yeah.
All right. Mine would be surround yourself with people that you can love and that can love you.
Love it. Let's put all three of those on the back.
I'm putting them on hats tomorrow morning.
We're printing hats for this? Yeah, this is awesome. Okay. Well, that's the show for today. I want to thank Dreezy. Appreciate it. Yeah. And Tim, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Super great. Both of you. Great people. And we want to hear from you. So it is important that we hear about your experiences as streamers, as content creators, as people who are also in the trenches, just like we are, who are looking to make better content and learn every single day. Feel free to give us feedback. Tell us your story. You can find us on Twitch. We go live close to 5 days, 6 days a week. I mean, there's content there on the StreamSix Twitch channel, YouTube. We have shorts and videos going up almost every single day. We have a lot of content there. And please leave comments. Let us know what you think about this podcast. And we will be doing some live QA podcasts at some point. So, prepare some questions for that and let us know, what you'd like us to talk about, what you'd like us to go through. Thank you for watching. See you again soon.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. People will be listening too.
Thanks for joining.